create a new school, click on add new button. Click on this add new button that you see over here. Now enter the name of this school. So in this case, I'll enter my school name. So this is the school from which I've graduated or whatever. And you can enter school phone number. So I'll just enter some random number over here. And also school email address. So again, I'll just type in something over here. Okay, for email address. Then you can enter the school address. So whatever address it is, enter that address over here. Then after that, make sure under status it is active. Now enrollment prefix. I would recommend you to just leave these things and just click on update school. Or if you have clicked on add new school, just click on add new school. Now again, if you click on dashboard or if you click on school management, here as you can see, one school is selected, Our Lady of Good Counsel. Now once this school is selected, you can now click on school SM school. Now once you click on SM school, you will see all the details related to this school. As you can see, right now we have 0 classes, 0 sections, 0 students, everything is blank. So let's start with first adding classes and sections. So classes is obviously, you know, class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, and section is class 1A, 1B. Obviously these things are not needed to be explained, but I just want to make sure that you guys understand what we are doing. So classes and sections, these two are the first things that we want to create. So you will see this button over here, assign classes. Click on assign classes. So here you'll see these classes are already created for you from class 1 to 10. You just have to assign them. For example, this school, Our Lady of Good Counsel, maybe this school has class 1 to 4. So this is a primary school maybe. So I can select 1 to 4 from here. I can click on 1. If you want, you can press Ctrl on your keyboard so that you can select multiple options. So I'll select 1, 2, 3 and 4. So class 1st to 4th. Now once you select this option, click on assign classes. Now as you can see, these 4 classes are now created. Now these 4 classes are just single classes. We don't have any sections. So let's see how we can create sections. For example, class 1A, 1B, 1C, similarly class 4A, 4B, 4C, those kind of sections. So to create sections, you will see this option SM Academic, and under that you will see sections. Click on class sections. Now here as you can see, class 1 to 4 is given over here. Let's start with class 1. So I'll select class 1, click on manage. Now only one section is created, which is A, which is obviously default. Now if you want to create a new section, just click on this option. First of all, give it a name. I'll give it a name of B and click on add new section. Now as you can see, this is also created. I'll add another section C, click on add new section. So probably class 1 is divided into 3 sections. Again, I can come back to class sections. Now I can select class 2. And similarly, I can go to, add section B, section C. So similarly, you can add all the different sections for different classes. So as you can see, for 1, we have added 3 sections. For class 2, we have added 2 sections. Now, once we have created these sections, now let's create accounts for teachers and let's assign, class teachers for these different classes and these different sections. Now to create an account for teacher, first we have to create a role. So let me explain you what that role is. So to create a new role, you will see this option over here, SM admin. So you will see over here. So, roles can be created by the administrator. So we'll select this option, SM admin, and here you will see roles. Click on roles. Now by default, there are no roles available. So let's create a new role of teacher. And then after that, we can create all the different teachers and we can give them that role. So I'll click on this option, add new role, and under role, I'll give it a title of teacher. Now we have to manage permissions. So what all things teacher can do? They can manage students. They cannot delete students. They can promote students. They can manage certificates. They can manage class and sections. And then after, they can manage timetable. So they can, if they want, they can create timetable, manage subjects. Most importantly, make sure this thing is 100% tick mark. They can manage, or they have to manage, student attendance, student leave, and not staff leave and staff attendance. That is up to administrator or receptionist. They can manage student study material, homework, live classes, not library. Library is for librarian. Transport is for the transport guy. They can manage the notice board, so they can add some new notice to the notice board so that those notices can be read by the parents. If you want, you can also enable them to manage events if you want your teachers to be able to create different events. Obviously, they can manage exams. They cannot manage expenses. That is for accountant. And for income invoices, all these things will be managed by accountant. So I think this is it. Yeah, this is it for teacher. You can select this option and click on add new role. Now we have created one role. If you again go back to roles, you'll see you have created one role, teacher role. Now you have to create all this staff and you can assign them this role. So let's click on staff list, which is under SM administrator. You'll see staff list. Now let's click create a new staff. So click on add new staff. Now instead of giving a real name, I'll just name it teacher 1. Okay, so this is the name of the teacher. Male or female you can select. So mostly it is female, so I'll select female. Birth date of that teacher, so maybe let's select 1980 or June 12, whatever date. Address of that teacher, so that you have everything in your database. So whenever something happens or in case of any emergency, you have the address, phone number, email address, everything related to that teacher. So you can address the you can enter the personal address of the teacher. You can enter the mobile number of that teacher. Then after that you can enter the email address of the teacher. So let me create a very dummy email over here, teacher1@gmail.com. Then after that, when did this teacher join? So probably she joined, let's see, maybe in 2010. So I'll select 2010, maybe May of 10th. Okay. And role, you have to select this teacher role. So when you give her or when you give this person a role, if you remember, when you scroll down, they will have all these permissions. So they can manage homework, they can manage exams, so they can manage all these things. You can enter the salary. So for example, she's getting maybe 1 lakh salary per month. And designation, if she or he is a class teacher, you can maybe give designation as class teacher. Basically here under designation, you should type something like, if it is an assistant teacher or supervisor or any kind of that, you can add those things as designation. If she's a class teacher, for which class, you can select that. So probably she's a class teacher for class 1A, so you can select this option. And if you have made this teacher bus in charge for some bus, you can select that option. Now, because we haven't created any buses, any vehicles, any routes, we cannot do that. So later on, later on in this video, I'll show you how to create that. So once you have created a route or a bus, and if this teacher is probably the, in charge of that bus, you can select yes, and you can select that bus number over here. Now for some specific teachers, so this is a teacher, she has all these permissions. And for some specific teachers, you can also add or subtract these permissions. You cannot subtract these permissions, but if you want to give a specific teacher some extra permissions, you can do that as well. Okay, for example, send notifications should be added to teachers, and because she can send SMS notification if the person is, or if the child is absent or anything like that. Now for login detail, you should always select new user. And you can enter username for that teacher and email address and password for that teacher. And these details you have to give it to that teacher, so that this teacher, whoever that teacher is, they can enter this login details and they can see their account on this website and they can manage everything. For example, if they want to give any notice, they can add a notice from this website. They can do everything. So I'll explain you about this later on, but make sure you create an username. You create username and account for this teacher over here. So I'll enter this email address. I'll enter some username. Then after that, I'll also add some password over here. And after that, click on add new staff. So this is how you can add a new staff. And similarly, now you can just go ahead, add as many teachers as you want. So if I click on view all, I'll see this teacher name, phone number, email address, salary, everything is given over here. Alright guys, now let me do one thing before I add students and I add everything like that. Let me first add few fee structures. So for example, before I start taking admissions, let me first create few fee structures. For example, the admission fee is this much, monthly fee is this much, so that once we add the admission of a new student, we have all those information in hand. So to add anything related to money, you will see all those information under accounting. So if you click on SM accounting, you will see this is the dashboard, and here we have this option fee types. Click on add new fee type, because right now if you click on view fee types, no fee types will be created. So to create a new fee type, click on this button, add new fee type, and let's start with admission fee. So I'll type in admission fee over here. Now period, whether this is one time fee, monthly fee, annual fee. So this is obviously one time fee, admission fee, and you can enter the amount. What is the admission fee? So probably this is 1 lakh rupees. Now everything right now is in dollars, but later on we'll change the currency. So I'm typing 1 lakh rupees as admission fee, one time fee. And after that, just click on add new fee type. Now let me create few monthly fee. So I'll add monthly fee as the title. And after that, this will be monthly, and under amount, probably monthly fee is 2,500. Click on add new fee type. Now I would also recommend you, if you want to enable, or if you have school transport system in your school, you can also create transport fee over here, so that you can charge this fee to whichever student who is using your transport system. Alright, so once we have the fee structure set over here, now you can accept admissions for students. So to do that, you'll see this option over here, SM student. So here it is. And first of all, let's just click on this and you will see this dashboard. Now, if you want, you can click on view students. You can add a new student, or if you have a new admission coming in, for example, a child came and they want a new admission, you can click on this button, add new admission, and you can enter name of the child, all this detail. Or what you can do is you can tell the parent to go to your website. Later on, we'll be creating these pages we have not yet created. So once we create these pages, you can tell the parents, so go to our school website, click on registration and fill in this form. So once they fill in this form, you don't have to fill in this form, because once they fill in this form and click on submit, all these details will be automatically saved in your database. But if you want to fill in this form for the student, you can come over here, type in the student name. For example, it is student 1 for the student name, gender of the student, date of birth of student. So nowadays it will be 2000 something, most of the students in school. You also have religion, caste option. I don't know whether these options are available in most of the countries, but in India, we do have option for religion, caste. Blood group is compulsory, but religion, caste option is also present. So I'll enter under religion. I'll add Islam according to my religion. And Islam, because in our religion, we don't have any caste system, which is amazing. I can just add no caste, or you can just add open caste, whatever you want. Alright, so blood group. All the blood groups are already created. You just have to select. For example, this student is O positive. You can select this option. Now enter the address of this student, or obviously the parent address, phone number of parent, and email address. So I'll just enter student 1 over here, or parent 1. So let's add parent1@gmail.com, just some dummy email address. Now city, state, all this information. Let me actually enter this information. Maharashtra. Country will be India. Now you have the ID option. So if you're selecting some government ID from the parent, for example, in India, Aadhaar card is the most common government ID. So you can select that ID. You can take a picture or scan that ID. You can upload that ID on your website, and you can enter that Aadhaar number, PAN number, whatever ID you have selected, enter that ID number over here. You can also add some extra notes and details if you want. Now admission date. For example, today is the date of the admission for class 1A. Now you can also enter admission number. Probably it is this number. You can give this student a roll number if you want, and you can also upload picture for this student. Now I'll upload this image. Now parent detail. So father detail, probably father name is father 1. Father phone number, some random phone number. Occupation, probably business. Mother name, I'll just enter mother 1. Just to keep things very simple. Some random phone number, occupation, probably homemaker. Now again, ID proof of parents. Now for login detail, again, you have to make sure you create a new user account. You can give them username and password. You have to enter the email address. Now here, login email address should be the parent's email address. Let me change this thing. So probably I'll just enter the login detail as student1@gmail.com. Now again, as I said earlier, you have to give this login detail to this parent so that they can log into your website and they can see all the detail related to their child. So when this child was present or absent, exam results, everything can be seen. Now, I would not recommend you to create another separate account for parent. You can just give them this login detail. That would be great. Now if they have paid this money, for example, you're getting a new admission, and if they are paying admission fee over here, you can enter that fee, monthly fee also. Now you can also add some more fees. So if they are paying some more fees, for example, if they are paying fees for the entire year in advance, you can click on add new fee and you can enter that detail. And again, you can, if this person, or if this child is opting for a transport with your school, you can enter that bus detail. But again, we have not yet created that thing. Now once you enter these details, just click on submit and this student will be added in your database. If you click on view students, you will see this option. This student is added over here. Class and section, roll number, everything is given. Now obviously adding a student like this will be pretty difficult. It will be pretty time consuming. So as I have recommended you earlier, you would it is best recommended that you should tell the parent to go to your website, go to registration page, and they can enter all this detail. So once they click on submit, you will have this thing ready-made created for you. You don't have to type in anything yourself. Or you can do another thing. You can click on this export file, click on this export. This will export this Excel file. Now right now we will have only one student information, obviously, as you can see, phone number and everything. But you can do one thing, because you have this detail, you can now enter student number 2, for example, over here. Let me do it very quickly. Student 2. Similarly, admission number can be entered over here. Now all this information can be entered over here, and once you enter this information, now you can first save this file. Now once this file is saved, you can now go to SM student dashboard, and here you can click on this option now, bulk admission, and now you can select that option, CSV file. The file you have just downloaded, open that file, and this will add all the details for you. So this will save you a lot of time, because you have all the information in this zip file or this Excel file. You just have to enter, or you just have to upload that file over here, and everything will be added for you.